Hey DJs, I'm here for like the first interview of like my Permissionless series, and like today I'm honored to be joined by Ryan Rez, the co-founder of LayerZero Labs, and we're gonna talk a little bit about the protocol and like the some like new stuff that they're bringing now, like the updates, and like Ryan, can you introduce yourself a little bit and to people who don't know, talk a little bit about what is LayerZero?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Raz, co-founder and CTO of LayerZero. LayerZero is an omni-chain interoperability protocol. Essentially, allows smart contracts on disparate blockchains to communicate directly with one another. The way you can imagine it is kind of like the Internet of blockchains, where all these blockchains are in their own siloed ecosystems, unable to communicate, unable to pass information, data, value, and LayerZero unlocks that, which allows you to build bridges and cross-chain dexes and moving NFTs and just in general information passing. Built on top of LayerZero is Stargate, which is one of the is the most widely used bridge in all of crypto. At this moment, we have 95 to 98% market share of all cross-chain messaging in the space.
So that's great. Yeah, LayerZero is like the most widely used like messaging protocol in crypto right now, and like we had a lot of problems with bridges like hacks before, and like it is like some new security layer. So how did you guys come up with the idea to like build LayerZero like as it was so much of a new primitive at the time?
Yeah, so we started building LayerZero when, originally we wanted to build some type of cross-chain application. We wanted to build something new, primitive, because we saw at the time when we were in the early stages of LayerZero, we saw that there was, BSC chain, which is now BNB chain, to come out, started to get a lot of traction, and we said, what kind of application can we build? So we evaluated all of the bridges that are out there. There wasn't really any cross-chain messaging. So there's a straight asset, like token bridges. All of them were essentially wrapped asset bridges, and I quickly realized this is not secure, not something I would ever build on, and it will eventually lead to a hack. One of our background is in early IEEE internet conformance testing, and working in internet labs. So we realized, I realized that you could build kind of like an internet stack that will allow this cross-chain communication between applications. I built a prototype. We realized we had something that is a huge unlock and really valuable to the ecosystem, and that's how LayerZero was born.
Thanks, Ryan. Yeah. So you guys are like evolving in like every day now we see like some new integration, like some projects announcing that they integrated LayerZero. They are using like the standards that you guys built, like the on-chain fungible tokens and on-chain non-fungible tokens. And like yesterday, you guys like gave like a big announcement here at Permissionless. Like you guys partnered with Google Cloud. So can you talk a little bit about it and like how big is this like partnership for people that don't realize it yet?
Yeah, absolutely. So LayerZero, what's different about LayerZero is that it's essentially applications get to choose their security their security settings. So they get to choose their off-chain infrastructure that they select to move the information between blockchains. So previous to Google Cloud, we had Chainlink, which is a decentralized Oracle network, which is really big in the space. Then we had Polyhedra, which is a ZK-like client, so allowing a full on-chain ZK-like client between blockchains. So if you value the source chain validator set for securing messaging, that is an option as well. We have other oracles, TSS Oracle, and many other that are coming out as well. And so essentially what this is Google Cloud is actually running a purpose-built Oracle that applications can choose, and it's by default. So that means when you are building on LayerZero and you don't set your settings, right out the gate, you have Google Cloud as one of the parties securing your messaging. But it is definitely not forced on you. Applications can set their own settings and have full control over their own security, which has always been the LayerZero way. We don't think that a monolithic, centralized network of a few of 20 validators and that everybody has to subscribe to is the right approach. And we think that optionality and configurability is key to cross-chain messaging.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with all that you said. Like for people like who don't know like how LayerZero works, when you build your protocol, you use and you integrate LayerZero. You have a relayer in an Oracle to verify the messages. So like the Google is validating the oracles. So a lot of people say, oh, they run the relayers and they run the oracles. So now Google is the default one, right? For the oracle.
So it's Google, and then LayerZero Labs relayer. So the two different entities, but you can stack multiple oracles. So you could also do Google and a ZK Lite client, right? And then maybe throw Chainlink if you want. You can stack as much as you want. Of course, the cost goes up because you're paying for more security, but that is totally in the hands of the application to choose.
Yeah, and like for people who don't know, the only way to you get your funds compromised using LayerZero is if the oracle and the relayer collude. So when you have like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 entities, so it's harder and harder to somebody to collude. And like talking about costs, Ryan, one thing like a lot of people in the industry like questions about the oracles, about messages, is like the service to get scale, it needs to be competitive and cheap, because like another project maybe will go pop up and like with time they'll get credibility too, and like do like the cheaper service. So people says like that it is a race to zero. We talked yesterday. You explained me that it's not. So can you explain like to the people that are watching us how like do you guys make money in the long term with your messaging services?
Yeah, I think you've seen time and time again over the past few years that teams that want to cut costs and cut corners, and whether code quality or whatever that is that they choose, get compromised. It is, you can't put a price on security when it comes to cross-chain messaging, and so it's really up to the application to decide what they want. Like, Chainlink is more expensive, but some people value Chainlink as really secure, so they will pay more for it. Some people prefer a ZK Lite client, and they're willing to pay the extra gas potentially that comes with that on verifying a full Lite client, right, of Ethereum on BNB. Meaning that in that scenario, there's not even a chance for collusion because it is on-chain verification of that Lite client. So it boils down to the only chances that 51% attack of Ethereum over 3 epochs, right? It's just not likely to happen. Near impossible, right? So if you the way you think about it from that stance, so applications are going to choose whatever they need, right? So someone moving a 5-cent NFT doesn't need the same security properties as someone moving $100 million. But if you're moving $100 million, I can't imagine a world where you're going to cheap out on security and not pay a little bit more for stacking a couple more Oracle options, right, and having more validation techniques, right? With a stack, the Google Cloud Oracle, right, which is Google running, and then you also throw a ZK Lite client in, which now you have the validator set of the source chain, and you're just adding more and more checks and balances there. That every one of those operators that you select, every one of those verifiers that are verifying, they have the ability to stop the messaging. If they think that if there is a bad message, they don't verify that. They don't let that go through. So they essentially all have a veto right on an attack. So you would need a full collusion in that case, which is really hard to achieve.
All right, Brian. Thanks for the explanation. I think it became real clear. So how the security of your protocol is gonna be the huge moat that you guys already have. Actually, it's similar to Chainlink in 2020 when new protocols were coming with different new oracles and they were getting exploited every now and then. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And one other question that I have is a little far from the cost and stuff. So you got those, right? Yeah, so how do you guys see like an expansion to Solana and to Cosmos ecosystems in some like place like that? Like Solana and Cosmos, most because like they are the other two ecosystems outside of the EVM that get some traction. So, what your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so LayerZero will be everywhere. So it's going to be built out for all the Cosmos ecosystems, Solana, everything. And we are actively developing a lot of this. But we take security the most important thing for us. And so we spent the most on an audit, like $5 million over the past couple of years in audits. We have the largest bug bounty in the world, not just crypto, at $15 million. And we take that very seriously. So there's not enough battle testing that we do internally before we say, okay, this is ready for public use. And so we will be there, but we'll be there when it is secure and ready, and when it is the LayerZero experience that you can expect that you've been getting on EVM and on Aptos and everywhere else.
So that's great to know. And like I don't know if you can share, but like which one's the next no-EVM chain that you guys are going?
So we're actively working on a few. I don't know what would be next. I think likely Solana, but I can't say definitely this or it's definitely that, because whenever one of them is fully ready, that will be the time that we release it.
Oh, thanks. Like as Ethereum ecosystem and Solana user, like I will be happy when I see like you guys there. And like before we wrap up, I wanna ask you one last question. It's about Stargate. You are the guy that built Stargate, right? That developed it. And like Stargate V1 is pretty like the price is very efficient on like the asset cost, but on the asset pricing, but like it's not like very gas efficient. And like so you guys are developing V2, and like I heard like that you guys gonna kill the game with the Stargate V2. I don't know if like can point that like that. So can you tell me a little bit like about Stargate V2 and how better we would be when comparing to V1 and to other bridges?
Yeah, so Stargate is a native asset bridge, right? We have native pools of assets that exist that so you're never getting anything wrapped, any chance of that happening, right? Well, the key things that make it special is this delta algorithm, which solves instant guarantee of finality, meaning that when you submit a message, it actually executes. When it executes and finalizes on the source chain, you are guaranteed that price that you were quoted on the destination. There's no chance that the money isn't there. Native asset pools and then unified liquidity, so that from LP standpoint, where you're putting money in, you're getting fees from all the pathways. So from BNB, Avalanche, everywhere, versus just a single pathway, which makes it way more capital efficient. But with V2, what we've come up with in terms of gas reduction will make Stargate bridging the cheapest pathway in terms of gas and in general pricing across the board. And so in the future, you can imagine that every single aggregator is just a Stargate wrapper, and that's kind of the vision, and that's what we're looking to achieve.
Well, thanks, Ryan. Like this is a pretty bold provision, but like if somebody can do, you guys are the guys that can do it. Like you'll be showing it like every other time, like bringing new upgrades, bring like partnerships and like new projects, and like as you said, security expensive, so we gotta pay for it. So Ryan, thank you very much for taking this interview with me here. Like I'm pretty sure that people in Brazil love to hear from like a founder of one of the main protocols in the space. So yeah, do you have any final word for the people that's watching us?
No.
Right.
Thanks for hearing me out.
All right, thanks Ryan. Thanks very much, man. Appreciate it.